Hi, my name is Morgan Schneider, and this is my highlights for my Costa Rican experience class through the University of Colorado Denver 2013. A little bit about myself. I'm an undergraduate senior at the University of Colorado Denver. I'm majoring in geography with a concentration in environmental science, and I'm also receiving my certificate in GIS. Part of the reason I wanted to take this class is, one, I obviously love the environment, animals. I love traveling and learning about different cultures, meeting new people. I'm also particularly interested in bioconservation in tropical climates, as well as I've had Dr. Moreno before as a teacher. One of the classes was sustainability in natural resources. Which in that class we learned a lot about sustainable development, indicators, how things are trying to change currently, particularly in Costa Rica and also around the world. And I felt that this class would obviously be a great addition to that, being able to see some of these different sustainable development actions being carried out. And so one of our first stops we went to was La Paz, which was a beautiful, beautiful place. There were many different gorgeous waterfalls. There was a butterfly pavilion, many different kinds of birds, ocelots, jaguars. There was a bit of a mini zoo, serpentarium, different monkeys, white-faced capuchins, squirrel monkeys, things along those lines. And it was just really beautiful to walk around there. The scenery was just wonderful, all these vibrant, vivid colors, very lush, sounds of the waterfall. It was just really beautiful to step off this plane and come to this place and just really take in everything that was really the beginning part of our Costa Rican trip. After we left La Paz, we went on to La Silva Biological Station, which was my favorite place of the trip. This is a place that I've wanted to go to for many years, and it definitely did not disappoint. The people there were very friendly, dedicated people to all sorts of different kinds of research that was going on, some for 20, 30 years. And one of the cool things about the place is I really had to remind myself sometimes the fact that it wasn't a sanctuary, this wasn't a zoo, people weren't taking care of these animals, that this was all really out in the wild. So to be able to see a sloth with its baby, a crocodile sitting on the riverbank, different poisonous frogs and snakes and ants, along with just the incredible different plants and trees and flowers that live there. One of the pictures I have there is of a walking palm that actually moves itself to an area that has better sunlight as well as more water when it's needed. And then there's also some leaf-cutting ants that were mostly seen all over Costa Rica, actually, but we saw quite a lot of them there at La Silva. One of our trips that we took while at La Silva, our whitewater rafting trip, was absolutely amazing. It was the first time I'd ever been whitewater rafting, so my face hurt from laughing and smiling so much, and it was so cool to be able to stop, and we were able to jump off the bank into the river, and it just reminded me of when I was a kid again, and everybody just was having a great time. And having lots and lots of fun. Also, it was so cool because we're going down the river where our guide is telling us when to get into the boat and when to paddle and when to stop and such. And, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, oh, and over on your right side over here, there's a juvenile tiger heron. So it was just incredible, the people also that they knew so much about the environment, so much about the animals there, so much about the river itself and the importance of it. It was quite taking in for it. Also, our dorms, they were a little ways away from the dining hall, but it was really cool because every morning you could wake up and you'd, about a 10-minute walk to the dining hall, but the coolest part about it was there was so much to take in every morning, all different kinds of smells and sights, animals, plants, everything that was going on around you. And it was kind of neat sometimes to realize that there's multiple ecosystems that are going on around us that we're not really partaking in, and everything has its function and everything is moving right along with or without us, and that's pretty incredible. And one of the coolest things about being at La Silva was when the director, Carlos de la Rosa, spoke with us. And you can tell he was such a passionate man with such extraordinary insight to what needs to be happening in Costa Rica and around the region there. And he's so committed and so able to kind of get people to really move in that right direction. I found him to be really truly inspiring and just a really wonderful speaker, somebody that really draws you in and stuff. And one of the things that he said that really kind of stuck with me was he was saying that he was told when he was kind of starting out that, you know, in your life you can end up with a large stack of publications about the places you wrote, though, aren't there anymore, the animals aren't there anymore, or you can have a shorter stack of publications, but you have those places and you have those animals that you were studying about because you made that difference and you really stuck with what was important to you. So that was definitely one of the highlights of my trip. After that, then we went on and we actually stopped at Don Carlos's cattle farm, which was also really awesome. The man is definitely a visionary. I only really wish that more people would follow his example. He was telling us how the veterinarian never has to come out to see any of his cows because they never get sick. He doesn't have to treat them with antibiotics. The cows themselves are just happier. He doesn't take the calves away from them as soon as they're born, which inevitably then makes it easier for both the calf and the mother. He's also able to actually have more cows on less land and have more food just by some of the practices that he does. Not to mention he doesn't use any pesticides. He plants more trees that, one, gives back to the environment, but also it supplies the birds in that area a place to live, which in turn helps keep down the insect population around his cattle. He was a really cool man, and also what they do is they actually take the manure and it goes into kind of a holding tank area where it lets the methane rise, and they basically separate the manure then from the methane. They use the methane to power the machines that they actually make the cheese with, and then they use the manure itself as fertilizer. So I mean, he's doing some pretty great things and not having to use so many chemicals to do it in. So it was quite inspiring, and hopefully other people will kind of take his cue and follow with it too. After that, we went on to La Fortuna and Lake Arenal, which was awesome. The canopy bridge walk was a little difficult for me because I'm not great with heights, but it was absolutely wonderful. The views were fantastic. It was wonderful because I got to see 2 eyelash vipers, which are my absolute favorite, and so to be able to see them in their natural habitat was just amazing. We also saw jumping pit viper. Waterfalls were beautiful, different plants, things like that. It was just all such a great experience. And then the zip line, of course, was just absolutely great. Again, I'm not great with heights, but I had to do it, and it was absolutely amazing. I'm so glad I did. The views alone as you're whipping down the canopy are just pretty incredible. After that, we went on to the beach, to Brasilito. And there, I mean, it was really great too. It was a beautiful beach. The sound of the waves as you're going to sleep, it was a nice lullaby. The first day we were there, it was kind of funny because we wanted to go to the ocean to go swimming and everything. We didn't really see any locals around, but we were like, well, we're going to go anyways. And the next day then we had gone for our beach walk, and we had gone over this hill then, and it was funny because then here's this beautiful crystal clear water, you know, this white shell and sand beach. It was absolutely gorgeous. This is where obviously all the locals were when they were swimming, which we did not realize, but it was incredible. The fresh fish that we had was delicious. We ended up going snorkeling, which was awesome. We ended up seeing some eel, octopus, stingray, pufferfish. It was quite cool, and the guys on the boat ride were pretty fun as well, and the boat ride back was pretty good too. After we left the beach, then we went on to the Eco Lodge around La Hancha, and there were lots and lots of bats and lots of howler monkeys. The place was pretty rustic, but it was really cool place. Just sitting there and watching the mist hang on the mountaintops was just absolutely beautiful. At night it was wonderful because you really realize being there how much stimulus is really upon us at nighttime here in the United States. There's no lights at night. All you can hear is the animals and the insects, and once in a while a bat flapping by your head, which can be kind of scary. But otherwise, the place itself was pretty cool. You just, sometimes in the morning you had to wonder what was going to be in your shoe. But again, it was all part of the experience, and it was great. We ended up going up, took a hike up to a cavern, and doing so, it was pretty cool. Our guide, actually, he knew so much about so many of the plants around in the area that have medicinal purposes, as well as when we were in the cavern itself. It was really cool. Our same guide, he was able to, tell us all about the different formations in the cave itself, the history of the cavern and how it was found and things like that. It was just pretty incredible. And then on the hike back down, I ended up seeing white-faced capuchin monkeys, which was cool because I don't think they realized that how close I was, and they were yelling at each other and throwing sticks at each other and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to just see them having little squabbles and stuff and kind of being obsolete in their world. So that was really neat. And then after that, we went back to San Jose, which San Jose is actually, it was such a different contrast than to go back there from the Eco Lodge, because there's this big city. It's loud, it's dusty, it's dirty, and even so, San Jose is not a dirty city. But it was just a different contrast to that. We went to the National Museum, which was really cool. I got to see a lot of the artifacts from pre-Columbian times, which was kind of amazing to me because, these people built these tools and structures, things like that, made these, tiny little intricate jewelry with such less technology and tools that we have, and they have held up so much better. So sometimes I kind of wonder maybe what we're doing wrong. And then also it was really cool to be able to see all the street art as well around San Jose. It was really neat to just kind of see the difference. That really with art, there isn't a big difference between, art in the United States necessarily and art in Costa Rica for street art and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. I had an amazing time on this trip. The people were awesome to get to know. I think we had a great group, and I'm just so thankful that I was able to go, and I had such a great time.